Hi there, this is the second level idea for my level design. Um, this one is based on a sewer, and the inspiration for that came from Final Fantasy VII Remake. I really liked that sewer design level, it's very linear, but you could also backtrack to find a few things later on if you needed to. So first off, this will be the entrance to the level with a gate, and then I've got some fencing here to stop the character from falling off. And then also because some levels have either torches or enough lighting to make it nice and soft for the player to find their way through the level. So for this idea also, I've made a few choices where the player can make their way through through as well. They can either go this way and climb up into a room to find items. They can find items through that room, or they can go this way or the other way, and they will find different rooms along the way um, that may have enemies or items in. So with this level, the pack that um, I used a sewer level pack for this design. So over here, I've attached a little room with a torch in it, and then and then for these tunnels as well, they were very dark when I put them in, so I did add some lighting into it, so it would be easier for the player to walk through and not get lost. I also wanted to change the lighting in the sky so that it would be dark, so I didn't have to put walls up everywhere. For this recording, I had to change the lighting to be sort of a daytime. I had to change it to daytime lighting because it was just too dark to do the recording. So again, here we've got another torch, some broken walls, and then here is another room. So within these rooms, there will be cages. There will be cages and just rubble piled around, as it's like a sewer that hasn't been either visited in a long while or just like a jail or a dungeon type thing. So for this part, I've also made it so that it looks like part of um, the tunnel has come apart, and the only way for the player to get through is to jump through. And then it's just another destroyed room with some cages and torches littered around. It's sort of looking like a dungeon and a sewer all in one, really. And then I've also placed a water body around the whole level as well to build around. Because again, the idea for that came from Final Fantasy VII Remake. Even though there's not much of a water body to see in that, um, it's mostly just the idea from that is mostly just making stone pathways, as well as having interactions with uh, the switches to reduce the water in order to move on. So throughout most of these blocks around the level, I've put fencing up all the way around, as well as torches to help light the way. And then again, the idea for this part is to be a very wide open area to either find items or fight enemies, so that the player can move on. So going back over to the other area, so then I've got this. So to make this part here, I grabbed a rectangle shape, and in the mesh editing tool, I then just took out the middle and widened it a little bit. I really wanted to make this. I really wanted to make this design badly. It just as it just gave me a lot of inspiration, so that the player couldn't just go straight all the way up. They would have to go all the way around, as well as in a game, so that if there was treasure on one side or enemies on the other, or at least a combination of the two, they would then have to fight their way up and through, in order to defeat the enemies and get the treasure. So then up here, we've got a separate room. We've just got cages and rubble just sit around. And then to exit the level, it's made a twisted staircase, and then again with a gate so that the player can move through and then either exit the dungeon or exit the sewer, by going up a ladder, or to go up to a higher level of the sewer just to move on and up. Right. So that was the second idea for my level design. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.